everybody. It is the Woke Millennial. Today is Monday, February 22nd, and I hope everybody had a good weekend. So today I'm excited to talk to you guys about kind of what's going on in the world. I feel like this stream I want to do more of current event news, from political to some pop culture news. And so today I want to start off talking about the whole memorial that happened in DC for those for the 500,000 that did pass away due to COVID, and kind of just want to dive right in there, show you guys the video. I haven't seen it. I just heard about it on Twitter, and on, of course, the progressive news channels of kind of what happened, but I want to watch it on here with you all. And let's talk about it. Do you think this is the appropriate response from Biden to be having? Hold on, let me turn down my volume. I feel like I sound very loud. Hello. Okay, that should be better. So, without further ado, let's go over here. Real quick. Actually, before I do that, let me go here. 1 second. It's always fun having two monitors. I'm like, it's nice. Feel all legit. Oh, I hear myself. Oh, there we go. Just had to mute that. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. Okay, I don't feel like turning on my lights. So my background has little string LED lights, and I always forget to turn them on, but then I'm like, I don't care, if I'm being honest. Alright, so let me just move my screen, and let's get into it. So, alright. So here's CNN. CNN says Biden, or tweets, President Biden marked 500,000 COVID-19 deaths with a moment of silence and candle lighting ceremony on the south lawn of the White House. Amazing Grace played as the president and first lady stood with VP Kamala Harris and the second gentleman. Let us look.
I just want to set the scene.
Uh-oh. I don't think those are coming from my headphones. 1 second, y'all. Oh yeah, and say hello to Chi-Chi. She is here. Say hi, Chi-Chi. She was a little napping on my lap. Oh, she's so cute, guys. Do you see her face? Okay, I'll stop. Give me a second. Ooh. Alright. That way there isn't an echo when y'all hear me, or when it's playing through the speakers and through the desktop audio, so that should be better.
We see the president and first lady.
Nope. I wonder what's going on. Or what I can do is probably turn this up and actually there we go. We got it to work. Now I feel like I need to turn it down. All right.
The vice president. I just want to set the scene. We see the president and the first lady. The vice president, second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. They're there. A moment of silence.
What was that? The stream, not what's happening. Oh. Yeah. I probably have to meditate on that again. I watched something for the first time. You'll get my first reactions. So I'm just like, okay, I have to hold it in. I feel like I need to bring down the volume so I don't hurt y'all's ears. Put my mic down a little. Okay, now let's get into it. $500,000 Americans gone from this earth, no longer can have lives, find joy that we know of on earth, never see their family members. We haven't had this much U.S. death ever. And they thought that the best thing to do during this pandemic to mourn or have a moment of silence for the people whom they are literally in charge of the government. Biden can't say any more on Trump because he has been the president for over a month. I think they said roughly 100,000 passed away in that time. Probably a little less. I feel like that's high, but I think before this year it was around 400,000. Now it's hit 500,000. We're going into March. For a second. I don't want to see. You don't show me by just standing there looking for a few moments while a song played with candles all around you. Like, what am I supposed to get from that? Like, you come to us, if you really want to show how much you care, right, how much this hurts you to know that these many people have died from something they should have never died from because this country is incompetent, it's disgusting, and many say a failed state. The lack of leadership, the lack of organization, the purposeful and willful negligence that has been allowed to occur under this government. I'm saying all of them, from the Trump to the Biden, is absolutely disgusting and despicable. And what they thought to do was to come out here while they know that they promised us $2,000 checks, haven't given it that, told us about student loan debt cancellation that has been cut dramatically from what they first said, 50,000 to 10,000 to 10,000 if your parents make less than 125,000, and if you went to a public school. All ridiculous. No Medicare for all, no health care. You are absolutely, it's criminal. It's almost like, what was that for? What was that for but state television? They're wanting the schools to open back up again, right? Hasn't done anything really different than what Trump has done. They know that variant strains are in different countries. Has there been a slowdown or any extra procedures, not procedures, or policies being done or written or ready in place that would help block that spread of the more dangerous variant? No. Huh. No UBI, no health care. But you had the audacity to come out here and act like you cared about something other than yourself and your own image? They disgust me. Absolutely disgusting. 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 They all are disgusting, despicable creatures. And you know what? I'm going to let you in on a little bit. Thank you. Preach. Disgusting. You know why? You know what really makes... Even with the fact that they know exactly what to do to eliminate or to minimize the casualties and the spread, and they refuse to do it. On top of that being just absolutely egregious, paying people to stay home, paying people hazard pay, and actually giving it to them, those who still are forced or have to work to keep the society up, right? Giving us Medicare, healthcare. We don't have to worry about it. Whenever you feel it, you just run to the doctor. You don't have to think, well, my insurance, do I have enough money? Oh, the people who again said, oh, $600 unemployment, $600, slash that down to $300. At least I refuse to say at least it's something, because that is where they want us to be. Be at least grateful we got something. And I say I refuse. I'm about to say I rebuke you. I rebuke that, right? No. Like, you're not going to sit here where I'm going to play games. This is the minimum. Like, we have the most money as a country than all, like, has ever been in human civilization. The U.S. has it. So, we have enough to pay people a living wage. We have it enough to get the unemployment, the $600 added on to per week, minimally. So even all the bare minimums, he just fails, always fails. He's a liar to the nth degree, talking about Biden. And watch him do nothing. Everybody who's screaming, oh, Biden, look what he did today, or like, he's not doing anything, nothing's changed. Particularly, they're talking about Neera Tanden, which I don't want to get into because I don't know about her too much, other than she is an awful human being as well, which makes sense. But based upon what she said about like the wars, I think just a whole lot of things. She's problematic. She's had paid or been paid by Wall Street, things like that. But I don't, again, because I'm not really knowledgeable on Neera Tanden, I don't want to get into it. But I find it funny, and I find it to be very interesting to hear people like TYT. If he's gonna, no, he was like, they're trying to do $11 minimum wage, and they're blaming it on Joe Manchin because, again, when you have Democrat in presidency, Democratic House and Democratic Senate, they can't, like the oligarchs, they don't like this to occur when it's Democrat, particularly because they say that, you know, Democrats supposed to be a moral side, so at least America has people who care about other people, morality, blah, blah, blah. But the oligarchs rule that party, and they write the narrative to keep us under peace, to think that we don't live in fascism. We live in a democracy. Whatever. So they'll blame, as you see, Jank. I point because I have TYT on, but it's muted. To $11 an hour. Like, no, it's $15 an hour. And if we have to mess up Joe Manchin or whatever he said, well, then that's what we're due, because $15 minimum wage. Interesting. Jank, people from TYT. Because I remember y'all pushing for Biden. Y'all were the ones that made it seem like there was no other way, if it's not the one candidate, if the establishment, if the elites come together and they screw us over by telling people to drop out and promising them XYZ, right? Manipulating the election primaries for their own benefit. And then you, instead of saying and taking whatever power you can and saying, well, it's over anyway. They've already trying to screw with us. We're not going to sit here and just let them walk all over, steal, take away our voice, our power, when we, the people, were the ones investing in the Bernie campaign, right? Won the first 3 states and then lost. But then you're going to sit here and say, you know, because Trump's a fascist, we got to vote for Biden. Knowing who he was, knowing what he has done, knowing he is a fraud. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Always has been. But you thought, oh, I can be righteous and tell everybody to vote for Biden. No concessions. AOC, no, nothing. I'll just freely give you my vote because I bow down to the oligarchs, and that's what they wrote in my script. Bow down, give it to them, no concessions. But then have the audacity to continue on with, I can't believe they're not doing what the people wanted. Like the populists wanted, right? The majority of America. Oh my gosh, it's a pandemic. Oh my gosh, we don't have health care. People are still dying. There's a vaccine, blah, blah, blah. It's like it felt like it was done on purpose. Of course he would do that. Of course he's not going to be against shrinking what the military, not going to be for, even though he says it, not for raising the minimum wage, not for UBI, not for eliminating student loan debt for everyone. I would have said won't even eliminate student debt for marginalized groups, right? Won't eliminate student loan debt for those who were in poverty, right, before they went to school. No, he has to put means tests and everything. But he doesn't means test the rich. You got to realize it, people. We have to wake up. They don't care about us. They care about themselves. They're socios. They can smile to your face. They can cry with you. They can make you feel like you're the most important thing. And then write over a go F you note. Or put a policy in to deregulate a factory, puts water or poison into the rivers. After they just hugged and kissed your baby, they know you're going to live there. More than likely drink the water. Or they'll just fake like they care and they'll tweet about cleaning the water, like in Flint. And then do nothing about it and say, oh, it's because of this, and this. But watch how quickly they bail out Wall Street and their friends. Please wake up. Now, going back to what I feel like I went on a slight rabbit trail. Egregious. This is trash. You know why it's trash? Because they don't care. They wanted it to get to this number and count. Why, Jakina? Why? Sorry, I thought y'all could see the screen. They wanted it to get here. You know why? It's the one thing they're not telling you. And it will make all the sense in the world for why America has been absolutely incompetent when coming to stopping the spread of corona and stopping the amount of deaths. Now they have made all the plausible deniability in the world. Oh, it's the Republicans. Oh, people won't do it anyways. Some half people don't even think COVID is real. They've allowed these narratives just... Now let's see for why. This is back in 2012. Why your company may want you dead. Companies continue to profit from life insurance policies under unaware employees or on unaware employees. Did you know that? And they say, oh, Jakina, what's the street? Clearly they would have talked about it. You need to find me more reputable sources where they've been bringing this up. What are you talking about? What do you mean corporate-owned life insurance? What is that? What do you mean that, wait, America has it where corporations are making bank right now? And we don't know about it? Our politicians and our news people aren't telling us? It's almost like they don't want us to know so they don't get caught. And the biggest thing, if y'all can remember, before Trump got out, before the new year, they were like holding up the $2,000 check, that relief, because they wanted to add in legislation that would exempt companies from being held liable for the COVID deaths. They wouldn't be held liable for their willful negligence, because they want to get caught this. Now, I said I was shocked that it did not go through, but I already know it's going to get put in again in legislation that we're not all about. I'll slip it in, duh, because that's what they do. They literally allowed this. Our company, right? This country, this government wants to keep itself, or keep that under wraps. I don't want to get in trouble called out. What do you mean? What? In comparison to the next biggest country or next country, we are ridiculously high on the death count. And y'all don't think, we gotta think, people, it's money. It's always money when it comes to this government and these people. The reason why they allow the deaths, the reason why they are not giving UBI, the reason why they're not giving Medicare for all is because they make the most money off of our suffering. And here we can see that, how it's legally done. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, so I see that my chat box is weird. Give me 1 second. Crap. I don't even know how to control Z. Oh, A. Let's see, chat box. Alt. Oh, I am sweating, everybody. Real quick. Let me get this. Oh, there you go. And bearing with me. Like, that doesn't help because it's now over this. Okay, sorry, just real quick, fixing it up. I'm gonna make it so that there's at least some kind of dark color behind it. I'm gonna go the width to be smaller. I'm gonna go 600. Let's see what this looks like. Alt. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to care about it. So, anyway, I was on a roll. Sorry about that. I was informed that the chat box was messing up. Anyway, look, Wall Street Journal, how life insurance morphed into corporate finance tool. Wall Street Journal back in 2002. And in this article, it talks about how this was brought up because after 9/11, they were like, how in the world are people getting checks from this horrid tragedy, but the families aren't getting anything, but corporations are making money? And that's what got people looking into corporate-owned life insurance. But here it is, right here. Yep. After the September 11 terror attack, some of the first life insurance payouts went not to the victims' families, but to their employers. It's happening now. It's happening today. You heard what? Over 1,000-something people have died today or over the weekend? That checks. Now listen. It says, neither buyers nor sellers of this insurance disclose much about it. Oh, it's a secret. It's a secret. Neither buyer nor seller of this insurance disclosed much about it. Among the few traces of the September 11th payouts was Hartford Life Insurance Co. fleeting reference in a quarterly regulatory filing to an after-tax charge of $2 million related to the September 11th attacks. Hartford confirms that the payout itself was greater than the net charge and that it went to employers. It declined to give other details. Y'all don't think with that all that money they got back last year, where they gave the rich the truth and they went and bought, you don't think they were going in and buying life insurance? Like upping that because they know it's a pandemic? Watch it come out. Watch it come out. Watch it come out. What do people want to do? They made, that's just one firm among the few traces of the payouts. And that was what? An after-tax charge related to the attacks. That wasn't the profits on it. That was what, I guess we're trying to say, what they paid into the policies. But what I know too from these articles, again, another article, I leave these up because this is what I research. Like, I want everybody to know about this, and I feel like it just shows how corrupt the U.S. is, from the government or politicians, the media. It's like, you would think this would be everywhere. Did you know of corporate owned life insurance? Maybe there should be people overseeing these companies, these people, and how they're acting, right? The way they're moving during this pandemic, because we know we should have a sharp eye on them and make sure that they do the proper PPE, because we know that they have a huge incentive for their employees to accidentally or to die, right, of COVID, because that's plausible deniability, that's off of them. It was a pandemic virus. How could you blame us? Tyson, we put our 100 people, we put 100 of our employees close together and we betted on whether or not how many are going to die. What? To foreshadow how much you're going to make in profit from their deaths? Nobody's saying we should have a investigation on how these companies were moving at the beginning, when they knew full well, especially the companies that have businesses and companies in other countries. See how quickly they moved in other countries to make sure their employees had what they needed. Look how quickly they moved when it came to shutting down that business. And compare that to how they acted in the U.S. That's what I demand, and that's what I call for. So, again, going back. Oops, not here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this one. Back December 1st. What I was just saying. Lawmakers unify to give lawmakers. I know that was loud. Lawmakers. You don't think the lawmakers know about the laws in their states? The corporate life insurance laws? Did you know that Georgia has the least amount of them? I wonder why Georgia was so anti-mask, anti-shutdown. They wanted people, you can't, and then they put it like this. Did it on purpose. Our government knew people would cry out for help and cry out to work if you're just telling them to not work, but the bills keep lining up. Because in this country, it costs just to live. I meant duh. But capitalism. So you don't provide an income, a source, You can't tell people to stay home or just shut down their business because they will be in debt, be kicked out, all this stuff. So of course they knew the longer we don't supply them with the money, the more that they will cry out for going back to work. The more they will question, how serious is it to actually catch the virus or for it to be spread? And that is what happened. People, it went around, is it really that serious? It's not that bad. Most people survive. Young people don't get it. Lies about the young people not getting it. Go vacation. No, things are shut down. Go to Georgia. Georgia's bars are open in Atlanta. All the while, the governor knew. They knew the cash intensive. They knew it. The thing is, we'll go here. Is it here? Walmart tried it. It says there's a way around here. There's a way around the many state laws that require an employee to be made aware of such policies. What do you mean, tax loopholes? God forbid. In some cases, they are given a smaller amount of company-paid life insurance as an enticement. Consent can also be buried amid the fine print of human resource documents, or everyone just looks the other way. So how they get you, if they want, and the only reason they do this, they don't have to, they can never have to tell you at all that they have a life insurance policy on you as your employer, because they can take your name, take your personal information, take that social security number, give it over to their insurance, the insurers, and add you to their life insurance policies, the pool. But if they want to get it to be non-taxed, right? They have to they sneak in the part where they say, oh, you allow the company to take out life insurance policies on you, and as long as they continue to pay on the monthly whatever that they can take out when you die. Oh, you don't see it because you're doing it online. It's fast. You just sign it over. Or could it be that here they can even make a contingent on okay, well, if you don't sign it, then we don't hire you. Technically, that's illegal. You don't think they've done it? Okay. Laws are pretty consistent and common about getting consent before you insure someone's life, Meyer says. Unfortunately, what's happened is that they either get ignored by the insurers and the policyholders, or they try to find a state where maybe the law doesn't have a lot of teeth. We have seen situations where executives get on airplanes, fly to an airport in a favorable state, sign the paperwork, fly back home to the corporate headquarters, and then argue that the law of that favorable jurisdiction should apply because that's where they met at the airport to sign the papers. Evil people. That's what I'm telling you. Georgia, like I said, Georgia, a state with no legal restrictions on the practice, is a popular pit stop for insurance paperwork. We would have companies headquartered in Ohio with insurance brokers in Florida saying that Georgia's law should apply. They want you. They want your grandma. They want your daddy, your mama, your auntie, your uncle. They want them all in their grasp. No accountability. So they can bet on something they know will happen to people within a certain amount of time. Why? Because the one thing is, as we've known, is to be somewhat finite. People live, then people die. Eventually. And isn't this the great breeding ground you have a pandemic come on top of this already rich environment of these disgusting corporations and companies that have already been waiting for a mass death to occur so that they can reap in as much money as possible in a short amount of time instead of having to wait 50 years. Why? We literally just join on the campaigns, donate to politicians, lobby so that the politicians don't do a strict shutdown, lobby so that they don't have to provide certain amount of PPE or they won't be held accountable. What? So they can donate to politicians that say you don't need to wear a mask. What? So it can keep going and we can actually have this ridiculous conversation still? How about this? You wear a mask, you help stop the spread, or we make money off, like the more that you don't, the more money we make off of you, as off you Americans, dead Americans. That's it. They don't tell it to you that way. Did you know that if you spread it to someone and that person dies, there's a high likely chance that you just gave tens of thousands, if not millions, to corporations? Do you really want to see those corporations win? Why don't they frame it that way? I wonder why. That's fantastic. That's really what it is. You would rather continue to prop up, but they're not going to word it that way. They leave corporation all the way out. I have yet to hear any politicians bring up corporate-owned life insurance and how dangerous it is to have at a time like this in this country. But they won't, because our government is corrupt. It's run by oligarchs, the same oligarchs who have a life insurance policy on you. It says, what is it saying in this article? 50% of, no. 70% of Fortune 1000 companies have life insurance policies. Now, on its employees. 70%. Should look at the list of life insurance. Of Fortune 1000 companies. And also note, not just one company can have it on you. Oh no. Let's say you worked, or you're like the millennial generation, right? Where we worked a lot of jobs, right? Let's say you worked at the grocery store. Let's say Wendy's, because Wendy's was caught real bad. So was Walmart caught in this scandal, which is why they had to say something or do something about it in 2006, which was really nothing. All they said was, in order for you to not have to pay taxes, you have to get that consent. So however way you do it, we don't care. We don't care how you get it done. We just need to have there to be known that someone consented and signed their name. And you'll get, other than that, but if you don't want to tell them, you don't mind paying, 40% or 30% taxes off of your, $200,000 life policy. You just keep the rest of the money. It's free money. Person just died. You paid on it. You just got that much added to your bottom line that year. That you can use that money on anything. Do you know that? They can use it on anything. Oh, where is it? It talks about Camelot. Here it is. It's hard to know which article is it? It might be this one. I feel like scrolling through, but I've read these articles so many times. So there's a Camelot employee who was young. He died young. I think they had a huge policy on him since he was younger. I think it was like 200, 300,000. I think I'm being nice. It could have been $500,000 they made off of him dying. And they put that in executive pay, or in that bonus, in the bonuses. But you can't do that to your employer. No. You can't just take out a life insurance policy on him or no, what they can on you because you're a peasant, you're a wage slave, and this country views you as such. So, going back to Twitter, this horrid display of garbage, flaming crap, they don't care about us. They never have cared about us. They care about themselves. They care about power. They are narcissists. They are sociopaths. That's what it looks like. Sitting there knowing they're letting it rack up so their friends, businesses that they have stocks in, right? They can still keep making that money. Just this is what it looks like. This is what good acting and shamelessness looks like. Never let yourself be deceived by devils. What are devils? They are people who've come to kill, steal, and destroy. Destroy what? Truth, love, empathy, progress, things that are good. That's what they come to do. And they come to do how? Through deception. It says, what else is a devil? It's a great deceiver. It's a great deceiver. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Never. Even his eyes look little dark eyes. This is what the evil of knowing exactly who he is looks like. He has to live in that disgusting, decrepit shell of being. He's the evil man. Right here. I don't know her. Other than she's married to him. Y'all heard it. He has yet to tell you about that. What corporation is doing. He don't care. He's gone back on everything that could help us. He will refuses to fight for what would help save people. He's just a horrible liar. And dare I say, what did they say? With Martin Luther King or Malcolm X particularly. Fred Hampton. This is they killed them, and then they took their narrative, brought it down, changed it, like they made them out to seem like these awful radical people, right, who are just angry at white people, right? It's what at least go back to in my mind when it comes to Black Panthers. Now that I'm older, now that I know, I'm disgusted that I was ever taught that and ever thought that about them and not about these people. The moderate, what does it say with Malcolm X? They look like they're your friend. They'll talk like they're your friends. They'll even shed a little tear for a friend. Snakes. You know, I know they're snakes because you can go through a whole pandemic knowing that there's incentive out there for businesses, organizations to deceive in order for them to profit more, to deceive the masses so that more masses die so they can make profit. And they will sit back and allow it and never mention it out of their mouth. And then they'll allow people to blame themselves and say, actually, it's your fault. You went out last night to a restaurant during a pandemic? F that. See, I'm at the place where And I always wondered why I never really liked it when I would hear people on YouTube or even on Twitter judging people too overly harshly, I feel, for going out and living and doing during the pandemic. Why, Jakina? Why do you say that? Ah. Well, I try to put myself in the people's shoes. And what I mean by the people, I'm talking about the working class, the essential worker. So where I, like, again, coming from working class, to see how no one cared about them at the beginning. I remembered they didn't care. Their employers weren't giving them the proper PPE or anything. But you know what? They still had to go to work. They still showed up, right? They knew they were exposed already. So what's the point? They don't like, and this is what mindset is what I'm saying. It was this mindset of, well, I'm already putting myself out there and I'm not protected and I'm fine. So why am I sitting here being overly and like stopping my life in the little joys that I can get out of it for something that I can't avoid anyway, because my place of work puts me in those situations. Now, you can say, Jakina, well, they should be thinking about spreading it to others. Of course. Now, note, people also often have friends from similar backgrounds. So if you have you yourself are an essential worker being put in that way, your friends are all from that same group too. So it's almost like this YOLO feeling was happening. And while, yes, was that, you could say, quote unquote, irresponsible to the mass, I refuse to put it on them. You know what's really irresponsible? Our government. Our government is the problem. I refuse to put it on the working people or those people. Yes, they were, but maybe some irresponsibleness there. Maybe they had a lack of knowledge. Am I going to blame those people when the government knew and the government allowed for them to go back to work and keep going to work without being protected? When our government was the one that told them, sorry, we're not going to forgive your rent. We're not going to help. We'll add a little bit to the food stamps. When they cut off the extra unemployment benefits, you got only $1,200. You think that I'm not to sit there when other countries did it better? It had better results, literally. If they had made sure that masks were given, that people knew that they could create their own face mask before going into work if they had to in these spaces, right? Our grocery store workers. Literally, I remember being, I think it was even in April, May, walking into Walmart, and I'm like, I have my mask on, my little scarf, because I couldn't find a mask at the time. Scarf. Like, look at this. Look at these workers. It's disgusting to me. Because I'm pretty sure Walmart is selling disinfectant wipes, selling hand sanitizer, selling masks, fabric in the back to make masks. And the workers have nothing. They don't even care, because even if they didn't care about their people, none of it. They wanted people to get it, especially the big stores. Why? Because they have corporate-owned life insurance on their people. It's very obvious. I don't know how to say it much more than that. So if those people felt like, wait, they had it, like, if you're already working class, you're already not getting paid a livable wage, you seek trying to find like fulfillment in life and joy with the little time that you do have when you're not slaving at work for barely enough. And now you're saying you're going to snatch that and you don't even care enough to make your employers do the right thing? F you. We're going to hit the club on Friday. To me, it felt like these people are grown adults, and what I felt more so is be self-aware. After you've gone out, you keep yourself isolated. But again, it just felt like you're putting a lot on the people who are out here in the fields, when the people who own, right, and could have actually done and implemented policies that would have helped save them, right? Policies that would have helped to make them think that their lives mattered, that the government honestly just doesn't care about them, and they allow two narratives to go on at the same time. Mask or no, don't wear masks. They don't mean anything. Everybody wear a mask. Ah! Literally, Fauci, you don't need to wear a mask. And then you say, wear a mask. What? It's the mixed messages, and I refuse. Similarly to how they make people feel or try to judge people. I mean, in a similar-ish way, knowing that there is some personal responsibility there, but I'm not going to say that it's more so than our government. And our government is the reason why we're at where we're at, and the people are acting in ways in which they are. Whether it be the lack of education on the subject, right? And how viruses spread, how important it is, XYZ. And the fact that they refuse to do the right thing even till now. No UBI, no healthcare. No, we didn't get masks in the mail. No. Did you know what? Let me see. I don't like looking that up. But where the U.S. was sending hundreds of millions of masks. I think it was like 300 million masks. During that time that we didn't have it, they were shipping them overseas. Because it was all about capitalism. They don't care about us. They never have. And they have so many of us already. They view us as disposable. Especially if it's just getting the elderly people or the people who are being most affected. They don't care. They claim that they care. Clearly, as you saw in New York. They didn't care. They hid the numbers and let people come back in. Spreading it to more people. Elderly. Perfect. They saw it. Cha-ching. So yeah. And I think about it similarly to how I view recycling. And I don't like how people judge like on the individual. Do you recycle in your house? This plastic, recycle. You're not a recycler. Excuse me. How about we start at the source that would get the most benefit if a change happened? Me just recycling everything that I do is not going to help the world. In the same impact is if you get Coca-Cola to rethink their formula. We don't need this. We don't need this plastic. They refuse to change. They refuse to change. You don't know how much innovation we have that can replace and make these things biodegradable. They don't care. They're greedy. They could do it. Period. They refuse to. They won't do it. They'll give every excuse to not do it. Why? To them, it's not broken. So why are they going to fix it? They will continue to mass produce, put things in plastics, everything, but no one's going to hold Coca-Cola accountable, one of the biggest bottling companies in the world. Their bottles are filling up places. Not my consumption of this one drink. Now imagine, they change. It doesn't take forever to biodegrade, that it's done with more eco-friendly or made with eco-friendly components. That would make a huge difference. But we would rather attack the people. Where does it say? Well, but if they'd rather attack the people, then because it's easier, just put on the little guy. They don't want to talk to their friends, the oligarchs. The oligarchs stay. The oligarchs stay. The bottles stay. And I don't care how many dolphins choke on them. I don't care how many fishies die. I don't care. So I refuse to sit there and make people feel some type of way because the earth is the way it is and things are going the way they are. When the people who actually have the power to do something and to implement real change refuse to do it. Absolutely not. I'm not one to talk down on the people. It's the 1%ers. They own the companies that make the bad choices and have the horrible eco-friendly products. Now, if I ran the world, Will there be changes? Yes, you can put it on me, right? If I refuse to put it on the individual, same thing goes. The government is the issue. The government handled this wrong. It's because of our government, whether it be federal to state, are the reasons why these cases keep spreading. And they'll put it every type of way to blame you, which again, quote unquote, if you have a means to do better, then do better, right? I'm saying if you did go out then make sure everywhere you go you have a mask on, right? Yeah, but no, I don't care. Our government doesn't care because our government is run by oligarchs, and oligarchs make money when they die. The end. Oh look, yeah. So here in the chat it says other countries have biodegradable products. Man, what is with this chat? Okay. This is where you're about to go. Ooh. It'll work. I like things to look more clean. I feel like you can't even see the chat box, so whatever. Anyway, let's see. Let's go on through Twitter. I feel like there should be a segment called What Politicians Say or something like that, or just kind of go through and see what the daily crap they're feeding us. So I did this post yesterday. Actually, yeah, maybe. So I guess this is a good place to transition, all along the same, line, but actually, here it is. I'm just looking for this particular tweet. So I tweeted. So this is an example. Here it says, Nina Turner, it's time for the people to be the #1 priority in Washington. So I respond, thank you for telling us what we already know. Real solutions, please. And that's just how I feel. This is what they do. This is what they always do. I feel like it's somewhat gaslighting. It's the little branding scheme. It's the way that they try to, I feel like it's a part of the rhetorical triangle, right? So you have the ethos, meaning the ethos, the credibility, who is speaking, do they have the credentials to speak on this matter? So you will say, okay, well, it's Nina Turner, right? Nina Turner, she has been, well known in the progressive circles, right? She's seen as a fighter for the people, right? So there goes your ethos. You can also switch this out for any of the squad members, right? You think, oh, squad, so reputable, depending if you're a progressive or a Democrat. Then you got your, it's logos, which is the logic, right? The logical component on why this particular particular argument makes sense, right? So you have your logic. So you're gonna, and then you have what? The thing that wraps it up and you tie it all up. The pathos, the emotional aspect of it, right? The feeling, it moves the people emotionally. In this rhetorical triangle, they heavily rely on, and everyone does, not everyone, most people, scholars, blah, blah, blah. The rhetorical triangle is a thing. Aristotle taught on it. And so, yeah, to me, it's a cop-out. You're trying to move people, right, by saying things that we already know to be true. So that when we see it, we just like it. Why? Because you agree. Why? Because they know that's what you agree on. But what they won't tell you, and what they won't post, and what they won't do, is actually create policies, put public pressure on the people who will make and can make the biggest changes. Remember, going back, who do I like to target? Those who actually can do and make the most benefit, right? Or do the most work. That's what I hope. But they're not saying that. All they're going to do is it's called like bait, is what I'll put it. Like bait. Like bait are things when they tell you things that you already know to be true, so you'll like it, without them actually doing anything to make it happen. We can... So many examples. Let's just go down and explore. Actually, let's just search. Let's just go to Ilhan Omar. Why not? Let's see what she has to say. Oh yeah, they had time for impeachment. Garbage trash, but you couldn't force the vote? Okay. I do love her daughter. She's so pretty. I digress. Again, you get your pathos, right? There's people just like us. There's a truth in that. But what can it also do? Get you all focused that these people may not actually be telling you the truth or how they truly feel, but be using you and using your passion and your care for these issues. Just keep supporting them in their careers. Okay, so here. This is crony capitalism. It says 4 more states propose harsh new penalties for protesting fossil fuel. Here, this is crony capitalism. Again, a truth. Corporate polluters are paying off lawmakers to shut down people protesting fossil fuel extraction on their land. Okay, if that's true, fact, true. I'm looking at you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You're looking at them? Like, what does that mean? Like, are you writing up policies to like do something about it? Are you're rallying other Democrats whose constituents clearly, like in these 4 states, are opposed to this? Are you doing that? No, but you just clicked that. You got 2,000 views in 6 hours, or 2,000 likes in 6 hours. That's here. It says 500 billion or whatever in taxes weren't paid in 2019. Okay. If you live in Mississippi Delta and your income is $25K, you are more likely to be audited by the IRS than if you lived in Park Avenue and make millions. Almost like we live in an oligarchy. But is he going to say that right now? No. He just said a fact. Right? Most money owed is from the 1%. We must strengthen the IRS and hold the ultra-rich accountable. How, bro? How, bro? How, bro? You just gonna say that and just keep it moving? So you don't have, you're not gonna have to answer for your words. You just say truthful things, facts, and that apparently has been the culture. Like, people literally, these progressives, these well, particularly I'm going to keep it on progressives. These progressives literally get away with talking, and just all they do all day long is sit on Twitter and tweet things that are factually true, that are highly upsetting, but with no solution other than hold them accountable. How are you holding them accountable? Don't. How are you? You think your little tweet moved them? No, and you know that. Roe knows that. Garbage. Garbage, garbage. Nothing, they're not going to do anything to them while their time in power. Haven't yet. And there's no plan right here you're showing us at all. Reminds me of grift. Grifting? Yeah. Yep. And it's interesting how Ilhan would post. Oh, Lord. I'm not even looking at what I'm looking at. Here. If you're not... Malcolm X. If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Period. It's interesting and ironic, and of course, why not? Ilhan. It's just like the hypocrisy. We all are loving these squad members who, when they had the power to actually put a floor vote on Medicare for all or add anything else they wanted their agenda, they actually had power, threw it away. Acted like they didn't hear what we were saying. Acted like what we were saying was ridiculous, even though we know the truth. There's people who are scholars and know how Congress runs, and picking a House Speaker told us the tea. And they wanted to act like, oh no, you really didn't get the tea. If we don't vote for Pelosi, then the Republican guy wins. That's an absolute lie. Dare I say, from the pit of hell. Like how my mom would say it, right? A lie from the pit of hell. People like her push. And yet people will sit here and say all these awful things about people who are holding people like her and progressives who came out their mouth and said that they're for the people, and people voted and gave their money to people who are critiquing them for not doing what they said. Like throw potatoes or tomatoes. Ooh, not potatoes. Tomatoes. Some maybe who throw potatoes. But who knows? We stand AOC. We love Ilhan forever. Ugh, look at those ungrateful progressives. They call themselves progressives. They don't even know how anything works. If you're not careful, the news will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving those who are doing the oppressing. See this? Oh, cute puppies. I don't like, why are you posting this? We still don't have $2,000. We still don't have health care. We're still going back and forth on a livable wage in 5 years, which won't be a livable wage in 5 years. More pathos. This, ridiculous. Here we go again. We'll be having tens of thousands of conversations with our friends and neighbors throughout the district about how we can ensure, so they feel like they're actually a part of something that they're not. Yeah, you look the doggy. we'll be having, okay. So that again, to push like, oh look, I went to this, like getting people involved. All of this is it's just propaganda, people. It's, in many ways, it's a brainwashing. But what you see, always remember, it's about the actions. It's about the actions. I don't care how many things you can say, many words out of your mouth, but if you're not fighting and doing what needs to be done, if you're not actually putting in work and all you're doing is posting and tweeting and having hundreds of thousands of conversations, how many people need to tell you that they need assistance financially? A 2,000 UBI would be nice. Do you need to hear before actually doing something? How many people need to tell you that we need Medicare for all? They just have us going in a circle, back and forth, talking to one another, blah, 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 with nothing getting done to ensure, like, and you're sitting up here acting like, so after this conversation, are you about to write legislation, enforce XYZ, and get this coalition together and do a public, again, what is it, the public, not scrutiny, but galvanizing the public, like, campaign to get behind what the people you just talked to are pushing? No, no, no. So you're a fraud, you're fake, you're phony. F you. Here, together, districts throughout the district, about how we can ensure together that nobody in this country ever has to decide between a doctor or buying groceries. How about you do that? Tricks. Buy Medicare for all. Then you would never have to choose between a doctor and groceries because you could always go to a doctor. How many people have to tell you and put in support of Medicare for all? You're a fraud. This question, this whole thing, is a fraudulent statement. And then the key is, what is its purpose? What is the purpose of her writing this? Because if she's not doing anything, what? Is it not for self-gain? To look like you're doing something or that you did something, almost like an AOC with raising the $5 million or whatever, instead of using the power that she clearly has to actually force the politicians to do the right thing? She's acting like she needs people's advice on what to do or what's needed. One, there's been many frameworks that would sit there and tell you, or a show laid out the best plan of action. Look to other countries. What have they done? We already know these things. We put in decades of research. People need help. When you go through a crisis and people, it's airborne and it spreads, they need to stay away from large groups. There has to be an incentive to do so. She's not there. They're not there to push. They're not pushing Medicare for all. This is trash. They're not pushing for the UBI. They're not getting up to 2,000. They wanted to impeach Trump, even though they knew it was going to happen. And they're raising money for food, which is nice. It'd be nicer if they used their power in government to write in some legislation that would help these people in Texas. One guy has to pay $17,000 electric bill. How about you do that and do your job? But technically, I say that, when I say do your job, it's do the job that they told us in textbooks that senators and Congress people are supposed to do. Not your actual job, which is to uphold and be the front man for oligarchy. Corporatism. In a face that protects them, it hides who's truly behind this mass chaos that's happening in the country. Mass death, mass unemployment. We'll be hosting dozens of deep canvases over the next year, and we want you to join us. Branding, marketing campaigns. This is how we advance the cause of universal health care. Is it? Is it really, Ilhan? Is it really? After this, we're going to be way closer to getting to Medicare for all. Liar. It's already, most of the country wants it. How much more do you get? What more do you want? You fraud. This is how we met Medicare for all. This is how we make Medicare for all a reality. This is how we build something together than what we've got. This is how we win. See that? Garbage. Lies. Or they use the truth, but knowing they're not going to actually use it to actually get tangible results. They'll use the people, but not in a way where galvanizing them together for a general strike. Something that they know would actually move those oligarchs. Be like, wait a second. Wait, that's our money. These people aren't, they're not, the robots, the slaves, the wage slaves aren't, they're not listening to us. They're not functioning the way that we wanted them to function. No, this, having a meeting, this is all this is branding, period. You know why? Because more people sign up. That means that more people are going to be thinking about Ilhan and what she's done. More people will be thinking of her in a favorable light who attend. And thus, when comes time for election, she is remembered. Those people will more than likely vote for her. And then she can spread, look at the stuff we did. We did this thing canvassing. We did it to try to get Medicare for all. Ideas on how to make that happen. There's so many ideas on how to make that happen already. Literally other countries already doing it. This is fraud. I feel like I repeat myself over and over again. Funny. That's fun. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's what I want to get onto. Hold on. I have to scream real quick. Okay, sorry. I had to yell and say, let me know when Jimmy Dore comes on. Because I do love Jimmy. Let me see. Here we go. This is what we say. Look at this. This is upsetting, but not surprising when it comes to Nina Turner. I mean, people had their eyebrows raised when she decided to run as a Democrat. And now we see her in this video. You don't make excuses for them. Like, she's making excuses for the squad when it came to the force to vote. She's making it seem like, oh, y'all just don't know what's really going on. Just trust us. We have the same goals. Don't we speak the same? Right? Didn't my PR person get us to type and speak the same things that you, the people, care about? We're on the same team. I mean, granted, we may not do and act in the way that you all want us to, being the most effective way to get your agenda passed and done when you have power. But we're on your side. What did Malcolm X say to be wary of? Incrementalism. And that's exactly what they're pushing. No, we're doing our best. What are you talking about? You should never hold us to account, because no matter what we do, even if it's nothing, that means that nothing was actually the best route to take. Trust us. That's what they do. That's what they tell us. Just trust us. If we're not moving, if we're not doing it, that means that we're doing the best that we possibly can do. And if we're not doing it, that means that it's not possible. Now, I know that's the lie that I used to think in my head. That was giving them plausible deniability. It's a lie. They were caught on the lie with force the vote. They're not doing the best they can. They're doing what the establishment tells them to do. And even though they don't get funded by the oligarchs, that doesn't mean that that stopped them from being, or from listening to them and doing exactly what they want and not stepping out of line. So I don't care if you're not getting funded. If you're going to vote the same way, if nothing's going to change other than the words coming out of your mouth, that actually you vote, your voting record, your policies, nothing, you don't use leverage, then you're what? A deceiver, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Whether or not you feel bad about it or not, I don't give a F. People are dying, and they're looking to people like you, like to squad progressives, to help fight for them, and they're not. F that. Like I'm about to give them some type of sympathy. You put yourself in this position. You fight. It's your job. You think you can just, say sweet words? We all need Medicare for all. And it's awful that this country doesn't do it during a pandemic. Shut the F up. I know that. You go work and get it done. Don't tell me what I already know. You tell me how you're fighting to make it happen. Other than doing an event, holding a little event, that's what you thought was good enough? Get out of here. You don't tell us, it'd be just performative, but then you sat there and let impeach Trump, knowing that wasn't going to happen. It's the principle of the matter. Go F off. F off. Hold Biden to account. Biden is a failure. It's only been a month. Failed. I guess the only thing is maybe vaccines getting out, and even then, wants to reopen everything. He don't care. But not. No $15 minimum wage. He barely wants to give us $10,000 to people who went to public school, whose parents made under $125,000. Barely. He's a failure. And you're in a party of failures, including themselves. Liars and failures. So let's hear Nina defend the frauds with no shame. Like what they tell you, these relationships, it's the best you'll ever get. You can't leave him. What are you going to do without him? You think you're going to find somebody else better? What are you going to do? They're the best thing going for you. This is what it sounds like to me when she's talking. Accept garbage. What I mean by their results. Or the inaction. Just take it. It's the best you're going to get. You think you're going to get that from a Republican? An establishment Democrat? Who else is going to sit here and go, yes, $2,000 a month? But us. Now, granted, if we actually will do anything to really make it happen, but you won't at least have us posting $2,000, yes. Inaction. You may not agree with inaction, but you got to understand. Dang. Crap. Y'all missed it too. I will repeat. I realized it was muted. Let me see. Let me start over.
It's okay to be disappointed, but the squad is ultimately the best that we have in terms of being able to push an agenda.
Again, he's the best you'll ever get. I know he sucks. Said he was one thing, not actually doing it. But it's the best you're gonna get. So why not accept it? Why not accept mediocrity? It's the best you're gonna get. Don't that sound like a lie you've heard before? Or a way to excuse or settle? Settle. That's what she's saying. Y'all are upset. What? You gotta settle for them. It's the best you're gonna get.
And what that means is that you might not always agree with the methods. I need people to understand that when you are on the inside, it doesn't mean
You may not agree with the methods. You may not agree with our inaction. But that's what you get. You don't know what goes on the inside. You don't understand how evil their glares are when they look at us. And how angry they get at us. Understand why you don't know what goes on the inside. But you just trust us. Because we have the best. We're the best you can ever get. Believe that. Seek for nothing better. But just accept and love us. And keep us, propping us up and keep us going. Even though we're not doing anything. But lip service.
that you are selling out. I know they've gotten a
Doing nothing doesn't mean you're not selling out. Putting your money where your mouth is doesn't mean you're not selling out.
lot of pressure, but they are the ones up there holding it down. They're pushing as hard as they can, and just because things are not going exactly the way, just because they're not using the exact tactics that
the exact tactics that would actually get you leverage and have power to actually get policy on the floor, just because they're not doing the best that they could do, doesn't mean that we shouldn't hold them accountable. We should let everything slide. Let them slide. You don't understand how hard it is for them.
in the activist community want them to use. That doesn't mean that you throw them away, because guess what? If you're throwing away members of the squad who are our best opportunity to get what we need, and also some members of that progressive caucus, then
if that's the best, we should all just pack up and go. If that's the best that we can get ever, why do we have hope in a system like this? Is essentially what I want to ask Nina. If that's the best that we can get, I'm disgusted. I don't want it. No, we're going to push for more. We're going to push you to better because we know it can be. And you're in a place of power to get it done and to make it happen. I'm not here to sit there and be like, oh, it was just against tactics. One person wanted to go and, let's say, stream on Twitch. The other person went to stream live on Facebook. Just because the politician decided to stream on Twitch and not Facebook, y'all can't just treat them that way. That's how she's talking to us. Like the issue was like that. Just little petty stuff that we're upset about. Not the fact that we know they were caught in being in a place, in a position where they could use the leverage, come together as progressives, right? Hold their vote for Nancy Pelosi, make demands, things that we need during this crisis. Dare I say, put Medicare for All, one of the things most popular in the country during a pandemic. They could have done, but they lied. They stayed silent on the matter, and they let it pass like we were nothing. And Nina says, it was just on the little thing, the little issues we have disagreements on, the tactics. We shouldn't be divided because of that. We shouldn't be divided because we were clearly caught lying to you all and we did nothing. And when we were actually called to the carpet to say, hey, why aren't you doing this? It's clear. And we didn't do it. That's not, you shouldn't hold them to account because they're under a lot of pressure. They're the best you're ever going to get. So why are you complaining? Just suck it up and settle. Don't their words make you feel a little giddy inside? Don't the words fill you with joy when you see their text or their little tweets? Aren't they pretty when they smile on the cameras? Why do y'all want more? Oh, those pesky constituents. Always actually wanting results. It's always so hard to please them when you actually don't want to do results or please them. Can you just make our jobs easier? Can we not just deceive you easier? Can we not just do nothing easier? Can we not just speak words, empty words, platitudes, and y'all just be happy? Progressives, suck it up.
You're not going to have anybody there. So if the prerequisite, in summation, if the prerequisite for relationship means that I have to do, or the squad has to do everything you say, the way you say do it, then there's not much of a relationship at all. And that, you're going to be disappointed. Hell, they're going to be disappointed with me. I said that to Tim Black when we interviewed. I'm saying it to you, Mike. I want them to know you're going to be disappointed at some point.
She already knows who she's going to go and serve. She's telling you in advance, letting it slip. Thanks, Nina. Don't be disappointed because I'm not going to listen to you. The oligarchs tell the Democrats what their role is during this particular season in politics. Those establishment Dems come tell me what to do. And then they know those establishment Dems, while we like to paint them out as evil, they know what comes along, the propaganda and the branding with who are as a politician. So they'll try to help out and do plausible deniability. You got your little PR firms, right? So it looks same. Again, the agenda, the oligarchs, establishment Dems. Now, they're in it together to make sure they work as a whole in that narrative and that those results that they want actually happen, but in a way that doesn't feel like you were absolutely betrayed like you actually were. You don't feel as betrayed as you actually were. And she knows it, and she's saying, I'm willing to bow down and lie to all of you under the flag of the Democratic Party, because that's where I want to be. I chose to run as a Democrat. And I know that the establishment told them not to withhold the vote for Nancy Pelosi. And I'm going to be just like them. So if you expect me to do anything like that, y'all, it's a trip. I'm going to what? Disappoint you, is what she said. Almost like how Biden came out and said nothing will fundamentally change. She goes on the Humanist Report and says, I am going to disappoint you. And if you expect me to actually stand for something more than my words and my ridiculous tweets, my nothingness tweets that are only there for clickbait and to add to the PR narrative, you'll be mistaken. Very disappointed in Nina Turner. I'm so disappointed.
Then you're not going to have anybody there. So if the prerequisite, in summation, if the prerequisite for relationship means that I have to do, or the squad has to do everything you say, the way you say do it, then there's not much of a relationship at all. And
If the woman says, stop being a liar, stop being hurtful and cruel, just help make this relationship thrive well. You have the tools to do it. It's you. Just do what you said you would do, to love and to care. You're asking too much. You're supposed to take, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do, and if you don't like it, you can go kick rocks. That's a relationship you should be okay with, because that's the type of relationship as a squad, as the progressives, we will be to you, is what Nina's saying. What the F? They're making it seem like progressives are asking for ridiculous things. They're trying to act as though this is the one thing that we have come together on in a minute, because they didn't come up with the plot or the idea. Duh, because they are run by their oligarchs and the establishment Democratic Party, which is again the oligarchs. Makes sense, but whatever. This is Nina Turner showing herself for who she is and revealing who the squad and the progressives are in Congress. They're literally telling you, stop complaining. How dare you? We're at least establishment Dems that tweet progressive things. How dare you? We will show up and do pictures at XYZ places. If you don't want us, you want us to do more than that, you want us to actually do actionable things that can get the constituents healthcare, a living wage, education that isn't crippling, in debt, put people crippling in debt. If you want us to do more than that, then we're going to disappoint you. We're going to disappoint you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But they'll make it seem like you're crazy. It's just ridiculous. It's kind of like you are painting this awful relationship, like this relationship between us, as a toxic relationship. And she's showing how toxic she is. And the party and platforms, or more so the parties which she's defending in their actions, is an unhealthy, toxic relationship. I can't even mention the fact, why didn't you do what you said you were going to do, without them turning it like this. You demand too much. You shouldn't be grateful that we're even here. You should be grateful that you have somebody at least can tweet something, that'll go on TV and say something that affects your life. At least you have people that say Flint should have clean water, without actually getting Flint clean water. You should be happy that at least we raise money for food in Texas. Why don't you use that power to fight for people to get a living wage, or for policy to be written, legislation to be written that would help the people of Texas to overcome, or to get that extra UBI? That would very much be helpful, especially in this crisis when it comes to the energy and the energy bills right now. Or you should be using that power to speak for the people in fighting against or regulating the energy in that state or that section of the U.S. But no, you're supposed to be great. How dare you? I've done all this work and you had the... You're not even listening, right? You're not even listening to what we're trying to say. Like, these are reasonable things. Just why aren't you doing it? But instead, you want to get up here and you want to say, oh, how dare you? I'm doing the best that I can. You should see that. Take that. Like, stop. Put your expectations down here. constituent. What kind of relationship do you think this was? I don't listen to you. You listen to me. We're the ones in power. I say what I do and don't do. You think you're in power because I tweet about things that will affect your life, but that doesn't give you that right to speak on what my actions, my lack of actions, that will affect your life greatly. You don't get to speak on that. Okay, Nina. I disagree. And I will continue to speak on it.
And you're going to be disappointed. Hell, they're going to be disappointed with me. I said that to Tim Black when we interviewed. I'm saying it to you, Mike. I want them to know you're going to be disappointed at some point. But that does not mean that you give up totally on the people who are the best fighting chance that you have. And then there's something called strategy. So the grassroots strategy is different than the strategy once you are on the inside. You will know when somebody is sold out. And I assure you that the squad has not, underline, bold, underscore, sold out in any way. They need the grassroots. You can hold them accountable, but you don't throw them away. I mean, some of the pressures, even with Congresswoman Cori Bush, I just want to use her as the example. I mean, she just got there. Hell, overall, the squad members overall just got there, even the ones who've been there a little longer. And then you have people just throwing up their hands, throwing them away just because they're not using the tactics that you want them to use. You don't know what is going on. Underline, bold, underscore, side. You will know when somebody is sold. Something called strategy. People who are the best fighting chance that you have. And then there's something called strategy. So the grassroots strategy is different than the strategy once you are on the inside. You will know.
What does that mean, Nina? Grassroots strategy is different once you're in the inside. So that means you don't listen to the grassroots? You don't care, or you've made it, quote unquote, and now you don't listen to them anymore? Is that what you were putting in there? What do you mean?
When somebody is sold out. And I assure you.
Thank you for telling me what I already know again. I know when someone is sold out. And I also know wolves in sheep clothing that will look me in the face and tell me the exact opposite.
That the squad has not, underline, bold, underscore, sold out in any way.
Just to let you know, that's BS. BS, BS, and BS. They've sold out. We're woefully incompetent to begin with. And I guess I will call them out. And no, devil cannot convince me that it's candy. I don't care how you tell it to me. I see for what it is. And you cannot, no matter how many times you say, Jakina, trust me, taste it. It's candy. I'm not eating. I know you will sit here and lie to my face. They have sold out. You said you'll know. I do know. Now I'm not about to sit here and let you try to switch that inside of me and make me feel like, wait, Jakina, have they really not sold out? No, Jakina, what is a sellout? Don't let them tell you. You think of it for yourself. What does a sellout mean to you? Is it someone that when they didn't have power, they needed you, and they fought and said and all these things, they used you to get to where they are now, and then what? When they have power, they don't use it, and then they'll give excuses and blame you? For them to keep whatever little powers or friendships they have where they work? That's a sellout. If that means that we don't get what the people want, we want a floor vote on Medicare for all, you said no to us? You're supposed to work for us, But you're like, we're supposed to just continue to support you and support you always, always. No, you have a finite amount of time to prove yourself before it's time to move on to the next. F that. F that 20 years in office. I can see it. AOC has always been in your corner. You can't just not vote for her. She's been doing this for 15 years. Who else is going to be in your corner? Did we get $15 minimum wage? Any Green New Deal? Any Medicare for All? Any UBI? No? But you gotta vote for her. You don't know what's going on. You can't bully them. They're not sellouts. They just got there. Again, you cannot sit up here and lie to me. I already know, you already know, they had power to put legislation on the floor that would help the people during a pandemic, and they refused to do so because they didn't want to do it. Now, whether or not they knew what was about to go down, let's say in a week or so, when it came to what was about to march on Washington, and that they wanted that to be the main thing so that they could impeach him, that's fine. But you're not about to sit here and say that that was not a good idea for Force to Vote, and it was not actually what would be the most effective in putting your money where your mouth is, in getting change that the people wanted. Those grassroots that you're like, oh, grassroots? Yeah, what the grassroots wanted. So if the grassroots doesn't get what they want, the grassroots has every right to say, bye, you're not getting my coin. You didn't fight enough to raise my coin, so why the F would I give you any more of my coin? You didn't fight to make my life any better. The stress alleviation, I can't go to the doctor right now for XYZ. That would alleviate my stress. You think you deserve my time and my money, but you haven't done any results? Then they'll say, but what about the other, in comparison to the other politicians? It's like they are ridiculous. They literally don't fight for the people. We're the best of those people. And I say you can go shove it. From the best to the worst of those people are doing nothing for us right now. So I have no loyalty to you. None. None. And don't ever speak to me as though that you are obligated to support, or you shouldn't give up on them if you call yourself a progressive. Have any of them brought up corporate life insurance during this time? If the answer is no, go. I owe them nothing. Not a gosh darn thing. What I do owe them is the truth. And I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to call them out. What I owe them is a good dragging when they need it. And that's what they will get from me. I don't know, Nina Turner done lost her mind. Or we just are seeing it. Seeing her for who she is. It's sad to say I did support her at one point. Really did. But this... oh no. That's not the best picture to leave it on.
Need the grassroots. You can.
They do need us, don't they? So they better step it up. How dare you say that the grassroots shouldn't hold firm and hold them to account, that we should just roll over for them? How dare you, Nina? Or that we shouldn't judge them harshly as if our lives don't depend on it, Nina. How dare you? As if it was as simple as we were just disagreeing on what platform to stream on, and now we're all like we're ridiculous. How dare you? It says, what questions would you ask her? I would say, my biggest first question would be, Why has no one brought up the fact that corporations are making the most money they've ever had, ever in U.S. history, off of their employees and ex-employees dying? Why haven't any of the politicians talked about it? Now I'm talking statewide, or state, city, but more so state and federal. Why is no one talking about it? That's my first question I would ask her. After I got that, I would more than likely have more questions to ask her. Well, we didn't. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. Bring up the IRS sheet, tax form, that allows it to be so. Then I would ask, why hasn't there been any? Well, with that knowledge, why has there not been any committees or investigations on how corporations have been acting in this time, and looking into the lobbyists and who they've talked to in Congress and seeing how their actions have lined up with the interests of those companies, and the lack of health regulations and PPE? That would be the next. Why hasn't there been? Why aren't they not looking into it? Next, I would ask, why did you tell the people that, or why? Really, I'm thinking about these questions. Why did you go into the Humanist Report and tell the grassroots people that they should settle and not hold their people to account? Why did you make it seem as though those who were forced to vote, it was just a difference in strategy, when there was strategy and then zero strategy? So the actual way you could word it is, it was a difference in wanting to do something and doing and not doing it, doing it and not doing something. There was no difference in strategy, less, I mean, their strategy is just a status quo, which is tweet, 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 to tweet, tweet. Then it comes time for elections, Medicare for all, UBI, but when it comes time to actually use any power to do so, do nothing. That was okay, but why did you make it seem like the people are crazy? Why are you defending them? I know it's because you want to be one of them. Why? Why don't they listen to the people? Why do they allow the establishment Democrats to have such a hold over them? Do they threaten them? That's my biggest question. Are they threatened physically? These lawmakers. No. Yes, no. Because at least what I know, can see is it's just about their position, right? And their career. And if they want to be friends with the people that they're in Congress with. That's why they don't do or do the things that they do. How can a politician look at someone who is, they met at a town hall, who said that they wanted to end all of it because they couldn't pay for their medical bills, say that you're fighting for them, you do everything you can, but at the slightest, I wouldn't even say pushback, but if they have a friend that they are competing against, it's like you in healthcare will fight Better World, or hi, there's a friend who's a lying socio, I want to protect him because he's a part of the establishment. How can one just look at that person, remember all those memories of all those hundreds, thousands of people that they've seen and met? How can they just not care? How can you forget about them? How can you put a friendship with one man who would throw you under the bus and has multiple times, call him a friend, and choose that person who you know won't do what needs to be done to help that person, those many of people you met? Throw it all away for him. How does one do that? All that's within me, no, never. Thinking of actual real people. If in real life, I can't imagine. I could never. So I ask, how can people you've worked for, like Bernie, do such a thing? Do they lack something? Consciences, empathy, are they sociopaths? Because that's what I link it to. One reason why, Gina, politics. I meant, if I think, Gina, politics, no. One, that would be putting myself in a space full of horrid people. Two, I don't believe that this is like a space where you could actually do good. I don't believe it so, because I've yet to see it be used for such. Because I'm not about to sit there and say I'm for healthcare. I'm for minimum wage increase to livable wage, even above $15 an hour. Like, if that's what I stood on, I'm going to run on it. And I'm going to expose everybody in the way. Period. So I can't relate to them. I cannot. I don't care who I'm friends with. If a friend that I was with in politics are in the way, and I saw people sincerely who were suffering, who cried, who believed in me, there's no way in the world that I would not fight. There's no way in the world I wouldn't have been for forced to vote. Period. I don't know where they find these progressive people from that are actually running. I don't know. So I feel like it's another level of the psychosis they have to be on. Knowing that people gave what little they could to help support my campaign, and then I'm just going to be like, oh, our strategies are different. When it comes to something that was actually tangible, I want to make you feel stupid or talk you as though you're stupid and you didn't know what was going on and you're just having a ridiculous plan or strategy and then do nothing. Could never. But they can, and they do. See how there's a difference there? The best, I feel like people, good people, they're not there. Oh, so does that mean that there's just nobody's ever good in politics? Well, if there appears to be the system that's currently the way it is established, the way the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are set up, for some reason, it's a certain type of human, right? Honestly, I feel like they look for socios and narcissists. And they say, you fit the mold. We know that you will throw those people under the bus if need be. So we're going to prop you up. We're going to put money behind you. I feel like they don't put money behind good people. And then the one time we do see grassroots, we have people like Nina Turner telling us that We just don't get it. We should not let them not doing what they say divide us. We should just incrementalism, wait slowly for change. Not do actually anything about it, not pressure our politicians to do anything about it. Just take it. So anyway, it's getting back to that. That's the questions that I would have. I don't know if that's actually a question, or I did have questions earlier, but yeah. Incremental. I'm not a fan of incrementalism. Nope. Nope. And I'm not for people who coddle incrementalism and coddle their friends. See how this works? Nina is their friend. You don't think I know that, Nina? She said, you know if they sold out. I said, yes, I do. You are correct. I do know. We do know. Especially when it's coming out of somebody who's friends with those people who want to join that group. Nina Turner's running for Congress. Why would she talk badly on that group? She's not like one of us. She can speak like one of us. She is not like one of us. At least I can say any longer. I don't know. People when they were younger, I don't know. But all I can say is not one of us. We always remember that. There's only 0.000000001% of the U.S. population that's in Congress or has run for Congress. The odds that I've ever met somebody that fits that mold and actually known, I have not. My parents weren't politicians. They were friends with politicians. I don't know anybody who I've grown up with and then became a politician. So I don't know. I don't know who you are. All I know is there's some bias. And I'm not here for this bias. Anyway, let me look through some of this. What was being said in the chat? Yep. It says WT or TFW. I think it meant to say WTF. I don't know. You're worth more dead than alive. Yep. Other countries have biodegradable plastic bottles. Makes sense. I like it. It makes... Yeah, that's a thing. But if you're told all the time that you're the best, you should be the most grateful in the world because everything that happens is the best thing that could ever happen, then people don't think that, man, maybe we suck. We suck. This sucks. This bottle, this is an innovation. This is toxic garbage trash to the earth. This is what this is. And whoever made it, that's what they do in their contribution. Not including the fact that there's so much sugar in this. This is garbage trash. And only a handful of people are responsible for this. So I'm talking to those handful of people who are responsible for the crap that they produce in the wrappings that have brought us here. I heard that it was in the last 15 years that half of the plastics on Earth have been created in the last 15 years. I said, I can't. So you're telling me, again, going with that trick, if you're always told you're the best, maybe if you're taught in school, and in schools and on kid programs like PBS, all this stuff, talk about the importance of recycling, you think in your head subconsciously, wow, that means that your country actually cares about and knows the importance of recycling and what these plastics and these materials that are non-biodegradable are doing to the earth. So of course we all must be in unity in moving toward a future where those things don't exist. They said, we know you think that. That's why we told you as a little kid, so you thought that. So you won't be actually looking toward like legislation or have it in your mind at all to think that while we're teaching you of how harmful it is, we're actually raising the amount of plastics that we're creating and we're putting them in those oceans. We just got 15. Half of the world's plastics today were happening in the last 15 years when y'all have had the most. When the scientists have come out the most with how awful and bad it's been for the environment. You really thought that was going to stop us? And you think you're actually going to do something about it? Because you think that the way that you vote is going to actually make a difference? You think that the politicians that we pay are going to do anything for you? And not even the politicians that we pay. It's a politician. We don't even pay them, but they listen to an establishment Democrats that we pay. And y'all still have plastic. Y'all still have climate change coming. Y'all still got hunger and sickness. No health care. Y'all are ridiculous. But y'all are the ones also saying that America's great. Y'all spread the propaganda for us. And we're hidden by it. I don't even want this. Oh yeah, look at that. It says other countries, national lockdown. The US, double mask, triple mask. And they know that there's a lot of people who don't believe in them. People not wearing them still. Is there places where people can go to just get free masks? Has our government supplied that at all? Sounds like it could be an easy help or fix. No? If it is, do you know about it? I don't know about it. They don't even do stuff like that. You could do better. Whoever I'm talking to, you could handle this pandemic better than government officials, because you more than likely care to a decent, even a small, decent extent about people. And also, it says other countries' national lockdown, United States. This is what they tell you. It's because you're worth more. Dead than alive in the US. Because our lawmakers allow it to be so. It is legal. I guess this is when they went back and did it. Business on life insurance. Had to hold the whole report. And it spells out accountability, integrity, and reliability. Again, corporate owned life insurance is still out, so it's interesting. This was funny. Yep, that's how I can say it. Look at these liars. And they do it with no shame. Said liar. More liars. This is how liars look. See? They don't really tell you that in school. They think, oh, liars. No, they'll look right in your face. They'll be on television. They'll be backed by money. They'll have the glam. They'll have the big establishment company behind them. It's Fox News, people will believe. The ethos. helps build their ethos, their credibility. And they will lie straight to your face with no shame. Yep. See, I'm telling you. Revealed. What was that? I'm looking over here on the side. No, y'all can't see because of the chat box. I just clicked this from something. Where'd it go? Oh well. Revealed. The corporations and billionaires that fund the Texas Public Policy Foundation. A tax document shows that, surprise, the influential right-wing organization is funded by the Koch brothers, TXU, Exxon, State Farm Insurance, Big Tobacco, etc. Oligarchy? If nothing else, I'm here to say accept the truth. Y'all, just accept it. That way we can actually make a change and make it faster. The state of denial is ridiculous. Tulsi UBI video on the rise. Is there a link? Let's look it up. Let's see what Miss Tulsi is saying. Oh, no, go to YouTube. Let's see. So, is it talking about, are you talking about the Tulsi, because there's different Tulsi Gabbard videos, and it looks like she had a detailed UBI plan back 11 months ago. Again, our officials already know what they should be doing. There have been plans on how to implement that. They do not on purpose. Why? Because your money went, or the companies want this. Because they make hundreds of thousands of dollars when their employees and ex-employees, now you may not have even worked for the company for 10 years, 15 years. When they die, they get a check. Your family gets nothing. You may have only worked for them for maybe even less than a year, 3 months, 4 months, whatever. They now have money and they have an incentive. Oh, sorry. I forget. I'm not looking at the desktop. Here. This is why. That's why they don't want to give you UBI. That's why they don't want to give you health care. They don't want to alleviate stress. They know what stress can do to the body, and they love it. They love what stress does to the body, and they said, stress? Stress? We can provide stress to the masses. Sit down, have several seats, watch us. Stress? Don't do nothing. Here. So why would they want UBI? They know exactly what to do, which is why it's ridiculous to have an Ilhan Omar say we're going to have this big council thingy, or like not town hall, but like what did she say? Like a forum where people come together and talk about ways that people can, things that legislations that can help their lives. I'm actually about to go look it up again because It's gonna irk me if I don't say it right. Where is it? We're just looking at it. Here. We'll be having tens of thousands of conversations. Conversations have already been had. Conversations with our friends and neighbors throughout the district about how we can ensure together that nobody in this country ever has to decide between going to a doctor and groceries, buying groceries. Again, fake. There's already been talks of UBI 11 months ago. That would help with the groceries, would it not? There have been talks of Medicare for all going on for a while. That would help them choose between the doctors. You don't need to go out and talk to more people because they're going to tell you the same exact thing, you awful, almost a grifter. What is that for? You think you're slick, you're not slick. Gosh, they effing irk my nerve. But yeah, no, it's not recent. Yep. And the UBI. We don't need more conversations. We need actions. Try to do this plausible deniability. We'll wait to hear what the people's thoughts are before we actually do anything. It's trash. And people need to wake up to it. And stop letting this distract them. That was funny. You're talking this one in the chat where it's like you'll know. I do know. You don't know. No, you don't. Excuse me. You don't tell people you know, but then say they don't know. If not for trying to change their mind is what she's trying to do, essentially. She's trying to change our minds. Because she knows how we know. There are many have seen her. Okay. Yep. Oh, look at this. Kind of what we're talking about. 500,000 dead and not a single boss went to prison. You know why? Because those bosses pay the politicians. And the politicians know that our country gives a cash incentive for their employees to die early. I actually need to go back and post on this. I'm right in about corporate owned life insurance. It says they lobbied to make us work. Yeah, they did. Of course they did. How are they going to make their money? They're hundreds of millions. Dare I say at this point, the billions. 500,000, 500,000 people. It literally, these life insurance policies are in the 500,000, depending on whom they worked for. Some companies have $1 million policies on them, like on a people. $1 million they die. 500,000, $100,000, and now you're saying $100,000, and that's the minimum. Like the lower counts, we're gonna average and say 100,000. I'm being nice. 100,000 times 500,000. And I'll be nice and say 70%, since 70% of the Fortune 1000 companies have life insurance policies on the people, their ex-employees and current employees. Then I'll say 70% of 500,000 times 100,000. No politicians talking about it. No media sources talking about it. Corruption at its very core. Those who are actually in charge, I won't talk about. Because my thing is, what happened to the people who wrote these articles? Well, not that one. Oh yeah, here's a list of the Fortune 1000 companies. Walmart, Exxon, General Motors, Ford Motors. Enron's gone now. Might be a little bit old, but this is the list that they had with the 70%. Again, that could be more now. AT&T, Boeing, Home Depot, Kroger, Target, these companies. It had Winn-Dixie's back in '93 policies on 36,000 employees. Now note, back in 2003 or 1993, that would be roughly over almost 30 years ago. So those, your grandma, back when they were 50 or so, or worked for Winn-Dixie. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Worked for Winn-Dixie and died of COVID. The odds are Winn-Dixie made some money. And just like with the real estate market, when it was clearly all of their faults, they got paid money, gave themselves bonuses, and went on vacation, and nobody went to jail. Will this too happen when people find out, or they're cleared from their charges? It says they lobbied to make us work, because again, they wanted us to work because they wanted people to catch it, spread it, and for people to die. They didn't create safe work environments. Then many profited to obscene levels. Many didn't even provide paid sick days. Now note, everyone listening, they know that they have life insurance. They know that they're about to get a check and add that to the profits at their bottom line. They did refuse sick days. They did profit to obscene levels. The least the federal government can do is raise the minimum wage to 15 or pass the PRO Act. The least. It says McDonald's literally lobbied themselves out of federal sick pay leave legislation, which no longer exists, by the way. But hey, they're getting a new sandwich this week. We should be in the streets. We should be general striking. How dare they deceive us on this level, to this high of a level? Talk about evil. Evil, an evil system that keeps stuff like this quiet during a pandemic, so that those companies could what? Continue to make their people go to work, not provide them sick pay, so that it spreads more in the community. And their hope is that what? They can cash in. Were our politicians on them, knowing that these corporations have policies? Did they make sure that, Walmart, you're going to provide your people with masks now, or you will face huge federal fines every single day? Oh no? All the companies that have corporate-owned life insurance on their employees and ex-employees, they didn't do that? They didn't try to stand up for you, fight to protect you at all? Or they laid you out for the slaughter? like lambs, defenseless. Of course they left you be defenseless. That's what wolves in sheep's clothing do. So they can devour you up and get as much from you as you lie there. Nah. They get the money. They get to go on their vacations. They get to buy a new house off of that, your relative being gone because they refused to do PPE and made them go to work and stand right next to people. What are we going to do about it? I say we should be in the streets. We should be protesting, mass protesting. This should enrage every single one of us. Every single one of us. And that is the reason why they're not talking about it, because they know it would. This is the epitome of what evil is, right? They're keeping it under wraps. And they're making it seem like they're... that's what I wish. I read these tweets and I'm like, I just wish that this message of corporate owned life insurance gets out so people understand why this is happening and why it's allowed to have happened and for it to have gotten this bad. Yep. If you're still talking about nothing but Republicans every day with the Dems in charge, you are pretty much useless. Yes. And that's how they want them to be. They, meaning those who actually rule the government, the oligarchs. They want the Dems to be useless because they don't like, they know it's a necessary thing for there to be at least one party that seems to care about the poor. They have to seem to care about the poor, but not actually enact policies to help people get out of that. No. For America runs on low-wage workers. Period. Capitalism. Period. So that means that those Dems that say to care and actually have some ideas, right, that would actually lead to getting people out of systemic shackles, systemic poverty. They don't want them to actually do it. And that's why they act like Joe Manchin is. They have to come up with one certain villain, Biden and Joe Manchin. They'll see if that holds. What do you mean, constituents? We want to give you $15 an hour. We want to give you $50,000 in student loan debt forgiveness. But we don't really care. But what can we do? I mean, what can we do? Get out there, Joe. See, it's Joe Biden who said no. He didn't seem to, he kind of wanted it, but no. See, get out there, Joe Manchin. See, it's Joe Manchin. He is the reason why we can't get it. But we're for you. They'll lie to you with the most sweetest face on them. It's despicable and disgusting. Literally doing nothing. I'm so against both of the parties are just despicable. In different kind of ways, but they all help one another and support one another's lack of anything and supporting one another, support in giving the rich tax write-offs. It's okay, Dems. You know, you're hidden, like the little narrative, because the oligarchs know that Dems are supposed to be there for the little guy. It's okay. The Republicans are in charge now, so you can vote no on the tax raises, but it doesn't matter. Just vote no. All of you all vote no. Says oligarchs who want it. Democrats vote no. You vote no, okay? Only a couple of you guys get to vote with them because that's your brand. We got the Republican charge right now. Wait, Democrats. I know you fill all 3 slots. That could get things moving. We can't let that happen. So we're going to put in a Manchin, use Manchin level, Biden to stop that. So y'all still fight for it, but we already have the blockade. All right, go. Oh my gosh, we want to get 15. I can't believe Joe Manchin just wants it to be $11. Did we do a good job, oligarchs? Yeah? Okay, good. Now please support us, everybody. Your donations, they help. This is how we get to a minimum, $15 minimum wage. We can't have people like Joe Manchin be here. How are we gonna be? Then someone. It's all a show. It's honestly really easy to see. I mean, it's not too hard once you kind of want to see it. Like, I feel like a lot of the times people they want to see the best, and these people know that they want to see the best in them, and they don't want to lose hope, and they use the hope and extort people's hope, and it's despicable. We must not become numb to oh, sorry y'all, I forgot y'all, I can't even see. Here, Biden. We must not become numb to sorrow. Wrong messenger. He doesn't mind if kids get killed with drone strikes. You're already numb to sorrow. Like, how dare you ever have the audacity to speak anything of the sort, Joe Biden? The F? You tell yourself that. We already know. You're the one holding up aid and relief. You're the one not co-signing on a UBI. You're the one refusing Medicare for all. Student debt relief. That's you. You must not become numb to sorrow. Oops, I forgot. Like, you're already numb to sorrow. You're numb to tears, you're numb to pain, all of it. You don't feel it. You're a psycho. You know how I know? Not by your words. It's by your words. It's your actions. Your lack of action. Again, I don't care what you say out of your mouth. It's the action. Your actions or lack thereof, which is the clearest view of who you actually are. He doesn't care about sorrow. He doesn't care about pain or suffering of anybody. So he can go shove that right up wherever he feels. It's just kind of like a salt to the timeline. It's like, I don't want to see this. Ugh, it's reminding me these people are in power. Disgusting. No one seems to have a good grasp on what AOC wants to do next, but her ability to raise lots of money very quickly means there is very little that is out of her reach, politically speaking, and yet she will do nothing with that. She will act like she can't do it. She'll have people like Nina Turner come on and say, she's only been in Congress for a little bit of time. How dare you ask anything of her? Again, she talking to the wrong person. Someone slow, or with less. I feel, not to say slower, but someone who's less confident, like knowing or seeing who she is. Her for who she is. Does that make sense? I know she has that political power. She can galvanize people, bring them together. They would listen to her. But what has she done with that? Used it for herself. She raised money for Texas. Oh yes, plausible deniability. She did something good with it, cool. But that helped boost her ratings. That helped boost her branding overall. Let's not forget it. Self-serving. Oh, she takes leaps. She stood up for Bernie even after he had the stroke or whatever with the heart at the hospital. How brave. No, it was a move, political move. She knew that there was millions of people supporting Bernie even when he went to the hospital and weren't ready to give up on that. That's not brave. She used her power for that. And those people, those millions that wanted people to support Bernie, and those people, millions who did support him, she knew that they would be there, right there, to embrace her and say, thank you, AOC, for endorsing Bernie, even after. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I said, it's not saying it's a bad thing with the 5 million. But I'm not going to sit there and act as though there isn't any political boost that she gets from these things. And there's certain things that she does not do that it would actually be helpful because she doesn't want to, or that's not in that narrative, the Democratic narrative. And it's interesting, she lamely blames Republicans. She was one of those people, like in the last text that I read, or tweet that I read. They're useless. I'm just a lowly young congresswoman. Nina Turner will repeat that. They're such a small group. They're new. But her ability to raise a lot of money very quickly means there's very little out of her reach, politically speaking. She didn't hold Pelosi to it. You see, y'all, I just want y'all, those who are listening, to really get this. I don't care if people do a little bit of good. At least they're doing something, is what Nina Turner said. F that. I hold people to account. If there's something more or more strategic, something that's going to get to the actual goals that you said, I'm expecting you to walk and do those things. I'm going to look at your array of power that you have and determine, are you doing the most with that? And if you're not, why? If you're doing the least, or little things, little cute thingies that do help people, but are actually doing anything for real change, you're waste. This is a waste. AOC is a waste. All the power that she could be galvanizing. But her job isn't, again, it's part of the Democratic Party. Remember, the oligarchs tell them what to do. And then she listens to the Dems that listen to the oligarchs. She feels comfy in her little spot. She don't want to lose her $14,000 a month job on top of speaking fees. Selling you out. Again, like Nina said, I know what it looks like when people sell out. But anyway, y'all, I feel like for this stream, I think it's been a good stream. I think I'm gonna get up. I don't feel like playing the games today. I think kind of this stream, I kind of want to just talk more so politics. My hair in the back. Yeah, I did want to kind of talk more so politics, and maybe tomorrow I may play a game. I'm not sure. Probably watch some YouTube videos. We'll watch some YouTube videos together. And yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Since I'm gonna be doing this anyway, probably just grab my food. I'm gonna watch. Let's watch Armand. I want to watch it, but This might be fun. Um, let's see. So I'm gonna switch over here. Actually, let's do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah. I'm gonna watch, we'll watch some more pop culture, what's kind of going on, pop culturally. Y'all, I didn't talk about the Gorilla Glue Girl and all that. I feel like it's a little bit old now, so. But yeah, we'll see what's going on in the culture tomorrow, and possibly playing the game, possibly going back to RimWorld. For those who did watch us play RimWorld, it was pretty fun. We created a little colony. We have 3 of our starting off people. Matthew, me, and Osray are our 3 starting off people. And we have Chi Chi, which I don't know where Chi Chi is, as our dog in that game. So, may play that tomorrow. Yeah, so I say all that to say I should be on probably around 6, 7, around between 6 and 8 tomorrow. So we're going to I'm trying to get a more consistent schedule. That way, you know, when exactly I'll be on. So, working on it. I'm thinking I like the evening times. Evening, and then it moves into the night. So that way people are home already, and, you know, it's kind of like evening chill stream with Kina. Wait, ooh, is that Chi Chi? Chi Chi! Come here, Chi Chi! Oh, she's so cute. Beautiful. Yeah. She was sleeping in her little crate. Hey, Chi. You say bye? You just woke up. Yeah, you just woke up, Chi Chi. She's so pretty. I love her. She is the best Chihuahua dog ever. Okay, anyway. So, I will see you all tomorrow. Again, stay tuned. Our goal is to reach 50 followers, so that way we get to the affiliate level on Twitch. So, you please hit that the follow button. Would be fantastic to help us reach our goal. If you like what we're streaming, if you were entertained, if you think Chi is cute and precious, you should hit that follow button. See more Chi on our streams. Anyway, until next time. Oh yeah, please follow on Instagram, on YouTube as well. On YouTube, it's Kina, and so is Instagram. It's Kina. And on Twitch, of course, it's the Woke Millennial, and on Facebook, Woke Millennial, and Twitter at Woke Millennial _. So yeah, until next time, we say bye. We say bye. It's a good stream. Thanks, everybody.